Nail or beauty school was just the beginning, right? What on earth do you do now? Welcome to the Salon Success Podcast with Monaco Nail Academy. Our topics stretch beyond nails and into all things salon related, business, marketing, and social media, and at the very least hits you with real, honest stories about our experiences. This isn't school, this is real life, real business, and really freaking hard work. The Salon Success Podcast is recorded live on Mondays at 5 p.m. NZT via facebook.com/Monaco Nail Academy and available on Spotify and Google playlists. Before we get started, wherever you are, thumbs up, tag a friend in the comments, or hit that share button and support small business. Hey guys, Penny here from Monaco Nail Academy, and today I am joined by Rochelle.
Hey.
And also Janelle. And we are doing some marketing chat today. So I guess I'm going to kind of lead the conversation a little bit, but with a lot of feedback from these girls to try and give you a little more insight into some marketing techniques that you can do to solve a couple of really common problems that we hear about. So we are actually all in the same room. Janelle is directly across the desk from us. We just couldn't fit ourselves all in on one camera, and it felt a bit more natural at first to be talking over the desk. So those of you watching Facebook Live will see what we mean because we are split across two screens. Those of you that are listening on Spotify or elsewhere, doesn't really matter because you can't see us. They can't see us at all.
Oh, God. I can't.
Rochelle very carefully put on a face of makeup, and now she's like tucked in the background anyway because we couldn't get the
I
first
did
camera
offer
walking.
her my spotlight, but
You are very much spotlighted.
yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic.
We have a couple of guys watching live already on this live recording. So if you don't already know, we do record this live, as you heard in the intro, on Facebook. So you can interact on the podcast recording, and then the next day we upload it where all good podcasts are found. So hi to Jazz and Tony who are already watching. And if you are watching, chuck a comment in and let us know so that we can have a chat to you. So how are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Good.
all right. Hot.
Hot because we had to turn the aircon off so that it wouldn't noise.
And I stupidly wore a jumper.
I mean, you could take it
I'm
off.
cozy. But,
Okay.
It's my first day
I-
back in like almost 5 weeks at work.
Nice.
Yeah.
So today was
Yeah.
What's
Well,
been
it's
happening in Nails World for you guys this week?
I'm really excited because I'm fully booked for the next 2 weeks.
That's
Yay.
amazing. What does fully booked mean for you? How
So
many
for
hours a
me,
week?
I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 till 9, and Saturday 9 till 6.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
That's about how
I'm
I
real
started
stoked.
too. Yeah.
Real stoked.
Nice.
What about you, Janelle?
First week back over the last week. Well, first week back. First week
First week
after moving, selling back home. Yeah, so that's been pretty fun.
Yeah, you'll have to check a picture of your cabin in the comments of the live stream because it's so cute.
We'll do that.
So cute.
Mum and I have been working hard. We planted some more today, so I've got shit all on my nails. But
Same, but I can't blame gardening.
yeah, you're just a messy human.
I really am. I would like to say it. Like, genuinely, I think I try.
Yeah,
But
I like
it's not
scrubbed
enough.
hard to get all the dirt from underneath because I've got 2 extensions, and like you can still see it.
So now that you guys know why you should come to us, let's tell you how to get other people to come to you. So today's topic is avatars. So I wanted to take a second right at the top of the podcast to talk about what the hell is that? Do you guys have any idea what I'm talking about?
All I know is that you're like, it's important, it's vital to your business. You've got to market towards your avatars, and you've got to create the ideal person that you want. And
You can lead the podcast.
That was
That's
a really good
honestly-
impression of Penny.
Yeah, that's honestly all I know.
No, I've never.
I left out the
part.
parts where she's like glug 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 on the alcohol.
Oh, come on. Not
Nah,
today.
you're not a risky biscuit anymore.
Nah, I'm a loosey weighty. It's a whole different ball game.
Honestly, yes it is.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what I mean by avatars?
From that? No.
That dead
But I bet
air.
you by the end I'll be able to do it.
Everyone on Spotify just checked if the recording's
Yeah. So I'm just like, wait, face.
We've got Zendre watching live and commenting at the moment. Hey, Zendre.
Hi.
If you guys think you know what we're talking about, check it in the comments. But I am going to tell you. So
I hope so. Otherwise, it would be a really awkward podcast.
we could just do guessing games the whole time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So avatars are, like Janelle said, really important and vital to your business. They're actually a marketing tool used by like massive companies like Coca-Cola and like Apple, and all those places will have manuscripts of avatars. And what an avatar is like, you know, in correct me if I'm wrong, Janelle, because you're the gamer amongst us, but like an avatar in gaming is basically the fake you, right? Like it's like but it can have like a full persona and like characteristics.
Yeah, it doesn't
it's not
have
just
to be
a picture.
It doesn't have to be you, like per se. It's like who you are online. So
Yes.
it's your representative online.
So a cooler version of yourself, basically.
Pretty much. That's
Okay,
what
cool. I
like.
need one
That's
of
what
those.
our ideal clients are, right?
Well, no.
Yeah.
I'm already cool penning.
Natasha's saying in the comments they're blue dudes with tails.
Oh,
That's it.
honestly, that is
true,
exactly
true,
what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
She's like, yeah, an avatar. I was like, you mean like web chat? She's like, no.
So
no.
avatars in terms of marketing are along the same lines of what Janelle was talking about in gaming terms. It is a creation of essentially a character, but in marketing terms, an avatar is a creation of your ideal client. So like your exact, and it is extremely specific. Like you might say, oh, my ideal client is between 25 and 35 and female because we're nail techs, and maybe they they make an income of like $80,000 a year or something, so you know they have disposable income, and maybe they like nail art because that's what you like to do. But that is a target market. That's not an avatar. Target markets. I feel like I'm just talking to Janelle because she's across from me.
No, it's fine.
But
That's fine.
but it's just me and you. But
It's like this sideline, like, hey.
yeah, target markets are really broad. Avatars are taking that and putting it on steroids and making it extremely specific. So we're not going 25 to 35. We're going 22, born in January. Like we're going
I think that's
specific.
what, from what you told me, I think that's what puts me off about the idea of doing it. Like, I can't be that specific about myself.
Well, it's not about you.
No, I know, but like,
You
I
automatically will
can't.
revert to what you are.
Yeah.
You'll be like,
To be fair, when we talk about our individual avatars for perfect clients, like mine have evolved. They have definitely evolved over time and got more specific as I got to know them, which sounds creepy. It is, but I'll explain. So basically
Can you have more than one?
yes,
Okay.
I've got two for Monaco Nail Academy.
Because
So
I think that's what the
one of-
other thing is like.
one of
I've
my
got so many variables. What is?
one of my clients has just popped in the comments of the live streaming saying, "Have you got an avatar of me then?" So yeah, for Monaco Nail Academy, I have two. I don't currently have one for my nail business because I'm not trying to grow it. So when I talk about avatars, I'll be talking more specifically about the ones I have for Monaco Nail Academy, just because I know them really well, rather than going on ones that I used to have. But either way, so it is your specific number one ideal client. Like if you had a favorite client, who would it be? So Janelle.
Is it bad that automatically someone popped into my head?
No, that's actually fine.
That's honestly what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I've got two.
Well, no, that is actually fine if you're also open to tweaking them. So if a specific human being just popped into your head, that's okay. But are they actually perfect? Like Rochelle, describe one of your perfect person that just, because I assume it's a real person, right?
It's a real person.
Describe that real person to me.
She is a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
Her partner earns megabucks, so she comes and sees me every
Jealous.
2
You
weeks.
might need to talk up a little bit.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure.
She earns, so her hubby earns megabucks, so she comes and sees me every 2 weeks without fail.
Yeah.
She always gets nail art. She looks after her nails. They're never chipped. They're never broken. They never pop off. Like she is just,
How old is she?
she's, I don't know.
How old would you guess she is?
Oh, maybe like 32?
Okay, so she's
Yeah.
32. She's a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
How old are her kids?
Like around two, toddler. Daycare age.
Daycare
Yeah.
age. Okay. All right, and it's her husband's income that
Mhm.
pays for her nails.
Yeah.
Do you know what he does for a job?
He's some kind of like He's a dude that wears a suit. I know that much. He like is a business
Good
dude.
job. Good job.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's like a CEO or something like that.
Okay.
Real high
Yes.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's lovely though. Like really nice dude.
So I would be questioning a couple of things about this real human to turn them into an ideal client.
Yeah.
Because if she's got kids that are around like toddler age, at some point they're going to go to school.
Mhm.
And when they go to school, she might start looking for things to do during the day.
Mhm.
So she'll be looking potentially to return to work and things like that, which takes her out of the same habits that allow her to be
Yeah.
going to you. So when you're choosing a specific avatar, you can take her as the groundwork,
Mhm.
but I would be making it that her kids are like 5 and 7. So she's actually in formed daytime habits. If she's going to go to work, that's fine. She's found a way to come to you outside of that.
She's got like a routine already.
She has a
that isn't
routine
gonna change
that,
within the next
yeah.
few years.
Like you've got a good 10, 12 years of her with a similar routine.
Yeah.
Other things like her husband's job stability. So depending on what industry he's in, you might want to choose like, and you literally can be this specific with an avatar. Choose that he is making income from a different industry
Yeah.
if that's something that's relevant. So like, for example, if he makes megabucks, but he's a farmer, that's not always as consistent. Or if he's in an industry where like prices can go up or change or whatever, like, or there's regulations changing and things like that, you might want to tweak that. You can absolutely start with her
Wow.
as a base though.
Okay, cool.
You need to name her, not her real name. What's her name?
All I can think of is a real name. Sarah.
Okay, so your avatar's name is Sarah. She's what, 32?
Yeah.
She's got 2 kids, 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Her husband makes megabucks. She's at work though.
Yeah.
She does work. That I think is important.
Okay.
And what day does she come to you?
She usually comes on a Saturday.
Okay, so long term, do you want to work Saturdays? Are you happy working Saturdays for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
That didn't sound too convincing.
I don't know.
I thought that when I first started, and
Yeah.
now I'm like Hong Kong Saturdays.
All right, Janelle, talk to me. And if you are watching the live stream, absolutely chuck in the comments who your ideal client is. You don't have to be as specific as us. We're working towards that, but tell me in the comments what your ideal client is so that we can run around that. And Tony in the comments has said she has 2 avatars as well.
Okay, cool.
So it's not just
Because I guess you could have 2 very different clients. So I love nail art, but I also love doing like a plain Germany because
Yeah.
it only takes me 45 minutes, not like
well,
an hour and a half.
when I describe Monaco's ones, they're very, very different people. They get on with each other really well, which is important for Monaco Nail Academy because you're in class together.
Yeah.
Less important for clients, but they get on really well, but they're very different. Janelle, describe your ideal client. You have a person and a human.
Yeah.
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 So describe that human, real person.
Real person, super bubbly, you're able to chat to her. So
Yeah.
it's like while you're doing nails, you can hold a conversation. Loves nail art, like your avatar. She's really, really onto having them done. She needs to have them short for work, not incredibly short, but long enough for like nail art.
I'm surprised that that's on your ideal list.
Yeah. I've grown to like maintenance.
Yeah.
Not like I need my nails really long, because when they're really, really long and then you get a break, it's like the end of the world.
Yes.
So maintenance and having them like an ideal sort of maintainable length is on my priority list now.
Cool.
So yeah, she's on to having them done every 2 weeks because she wants them short, and also she's working. She's on call, so
Okay.
she is able to shuffle around, which works for me because I'm also able to shuffle around.
Yeah, so is that possibly, so that would be a thing for me that I would tweak out of my avatar,
Yeah.
which obviously we're different.
Yeah.
But for me, I like my clients to be on every second Wednesday at 5,
Yeah.
every second Thursday at 6. So someone on call is actually one of the clients that I struggle with.
She's a midwife.
So
she's
she's a
got-
midwife, is
Yeah.
what Janelle
So
said.
if you're listening, you know who you are now. And so she's got like specific days she does things, but she also has on-call days. She comes to me on a day where she's not on call,
Mhm.
so she can fit me in
Yeah.
every single time, but she also does on-call hours.
Yeah.
So we can shuffle if things need to be like.
I have a similar client who actually I do really like, but so she works 12-hour shifts. I think it's like 4 days, then too off, then 4
Yeah.
nights, then 2 off. And so we can't put her in the same block every time, but we are able to schedule ahead at the end of each appointment.
So I can manage to put her in the same spot every single time, and I've never had to shuffle her at all.
So what are the things about her that you would have to tweak to make her literally perfect?
Shit. Dead air time now.
Dead air time. Thinking time.
Oh, I've thought of another avatar as well.
You go while I think, because my brain's not working now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a second avatar, Rochelle.
Remember how I was telling you about my awesome client? So I've got this client who's a complete introvert, but she loves having her nails done.
Yeah.
She has already picked her color. She comes in every Thursday at 6 p.m. She comes in, picks her color, puts her headphones in, and we don't talk. It's fantastic.
Yes. Amazing.
Like, that might not suit some people, but especially for me, because I work 2 jobs, so my salon is my second job. It's really good. Like, I know that Thursdays at 6 from 7, I don't have to talk.
Yes, I agree, because I have a few clients that I'm like really good friends with, but then I have a couple of clients I don't talk to, and it's a break.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
So never, just side note, if you go and get your nails done and you don't want to talk, just tell your nail tech, they'll probably love you for it.
All right, Janelle, what would you tweak about your avatar?
So she's single and has no kids, so that might change within the next few years.
Does she own a house?
Yes.
Okay, because that's a good thing, but often when you're single and have no kids, the house buying is coming, and you're always going to drop out when you save for a house.
Yeah, I've had a few like that. So yeah, she owns a house, but she's single and has no kids. She also has to have her nails short because midwifery. And so when we're nearing an appointment and they've grown really, really fast that week, she's like really tempted to file them down, and then at that stage she might get some chipping or something like that because she's broken the seal. So having to have them really, really short without room for growing is probably one of the other ones, and also relationship upcomings.
Yeah. So I have 2 avatars, and we're getting to how to use them. But I have 2 avatars for Monaco Nail Academy, and when I describe them to a group of students, they all start like freaking out, like because they will genuinely be like, "Holy shit! How did you like that? Is me?" And I would say,
I don't know if I want to hear this now.
Trust me, it's good. So my 2 avatars are Abby and Caitlin, and so the more I describe them, the creepier it sounds, purely because I know them so well. But getting to know them is really important, and you'll understand why shortly. So Abby is roughly like 23. She did really, really, really well all through school. Like, she was like one of the cool nerds, like the ones that are like they do really well, but no one hates you for it. Yeah. So she's one of the cool nerds. She did a couple of things at uni, but never really like fit into it. But there's a lot of high expectations on her, including from herself, because she's used to doing things like the best. She's used to being the best at stuff, but she hasn't really found her feet after school. She's tried uni, it didn't work. I know. She tried uni, it didn't really work. She's a person, even though she's made up, but she's in a long-term relationship. It's like a proper stable relationship. They are like usually like living together, but I know. So they're living together, they're stable, they're not married or anything like that. She's still quite young. Janelle's just having a wee freak out.
It's like you knew me before you knew me.
I know, but I didn't. But I knew Abby. So, and usually what Abby's done is she has tried a couple of different things and she's gone, no, now's the time to actually like stick in, do a thing that I think I really love. Nails are the thing that she's gone, no, this is what I'm going to do and try really hard at. She will do really well in class, but she will beat herself up a lot. But she will like head down and she will usually finish faster than some of the other girls. Like, she will knuckle down and do her portfolio and stuff because she likes to prove something to herself, not just to others, but she always feels like she has to prove something. So that's Abby. And I would say that approximately 30% of our students are exactly Abby. And they can pick themselves out. Yeah. And I'd say Rochelle's close to Abby. You're close.
Yeah.
So 30% are Abby. 30% are Caitlin. Caitlin is about 34. She's got 2 or 3 kids. Well, my specific Caitlin has 3 kids. who are 2, 3, and 5, so they're quite young still. She has been in a relationship with her husband for like 10, 12 years. Like they've been together a really long time. She's been a stay-at-home mum since her first child was born. The first one has gone off to school now, or is like almost about to go off to school. And it is the husband's like income, the family money that she has used to do this course. So like usually Abby, the younger one, has like borrowed from her mum, like a family member or something like that. She still owes, like, has an obligation to someone who helped her. But with Caitlin, she has taken money from like the family money, and so she feels like she really again has to prove herself and do well because her family, who she cares more about than anything, has sacrificed for her to be doing this. And the thing with Abby, and so Caitlin is like 30% of our students, and then I would say, so there's like 40% left, about 30% of the rest fall close to them. Like Rochelle, I would say, is like 75% Abby with a few little differences, but they fall close to them. And then there's 10% that like, I don't know how they got here. I don't know. But here's the thing. But
you're glad they're here, right?
I mean, I'm glad they're here, but if I ever get bad feedback for the course, which knock on wood, thank God is rare, but if I ever get less than perfect feedback for the course, it's from that 10%. So Abby and Caitlin usually leave me really good like testimonials and reviews, and they'll happily tell their friends, and if there is an issue, then they'll talk to me, and because they feel comfortable to do so. That other 10% that really don't fit in anywhere, they will be the ones that aren't happy with the course, and it's because it's not meant for them. It's meant for Abby and Caitlin, and that's how you're going to work with your avatars as well. Is the course is meant for your avatars. It's meant for Sarah, and it's meant for...
I have a question.
Okay.
yeah, that's what that face was made of. I have a question.
Okay.
With avatars, does nationality come into it?
It can, yeah, absolutely. Wow. It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But it absolutely can. And I can tell you that Abby and Caitlin are both like 2nd or 3rd generation Kiwi. That's not something that I prescribed at the start, though. This is one of those evolution things that I was talking about, where naturally, as Abby's and Caitlin's have found the course, it has turned out that they are usually like 2nd, 3rd generation Kiwi. And it can be that that 10% are not. Not always. There's definitely some room for error, and it's just not something I prescribe, but something that has evolved, that people who grew up the same way I did tend to like what I created. Like that's just a thing. Of course they do. So it can come into it, but it doesn't have to. Yeah, definitely. But so
that's creepy.
It's
like that's so creepy.
Like, seriously, low key though. Is that off me?
Off you? No, Abby has existed since before you. So so we have a couple of comments before I move on to
your ego so up.
Honestly though, like me AF.
Oh, funny.
So one of our trainees, Courtney, has just commented being like, I am Abby.
Yes.
Yep, definitely. Tony's giving us some info on her avatars. So her first avatar, and this is for a Salon, obviously, and Tony, like, basically I've taught Tony what I know about avatars, and she's run with it, which is awesome. So her first avatar is 26-year-old female primary teacher, so job specific, is single, no kids, comes to her at 4:00, again, time specific. The more specific you can be, the better. Always gets basic but amazing nail art that stands out with glitter lines and bright colors. Her second is 40 with 3 kids at high school. Her husband is a co-owner of an accounting business. Specific.
Damn.
So important. She works part-time in her family business as an office assistant. She's a very strong, I have this client. She's a very strong individual who's stubborn and likes to do things her own way. Oh, it's future Janelle. And nobody can tell her otherwise. She books on at midday on a Monday, her day off. She gets more modest colors but loves pretty nail art and hates doing the same thing twice. Like, so important. And Tony said there's more to each of them, but she's typing at traffic lights. So,
that's really cool, Tony.
Yeah. So
also get off your phone.
Yeah, hard.
So the thing to remember as well with why is that not showing? The thing to remember as well, I mentioned before that like Coca-Cola and places like Apple and stuff will have avatars. I wouldn't recommend that you ever have more than 3. Like 2 is good. 2 allows you to do quite a lot of focus. Somewhere like Coke will have possibly 3, and they will have genuine like books. Like they will have a manifest describing each avatar. It will be specific, and it will be like 100 pages long describing every element of Abby's life.
Jesus.
And I know Abby and Caitlin so well, and this is relevant and super important. I know Abby and Caitlin so well that I will take them shopping. And this sounds crazy. So
what are you buying me?
So a way that I get to know them and I keep them in the front of my mind as humans because you use them, is that when I go, say I'm walking around Pack and Save and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get myself, wishful thinking, biscuits. I'll be like, what would Abby get? And I will make the decision knowing like, as if like, I feel like I could go shopping for certain things for you, Janelle, and be like, okay, we're having snacks tonight. Like, what will I get? It's that kind of thing where you
what get me, babes?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But like, I know that drunk. I would be
energy
it would be
pizza.
Yeah. To be fair, yes, I would have ended up there definitely. So like, it's the more you can know the way they think, and it is like, and this honestly sounds insane, but the more you can think of them as this friend that you hang out with a lot, the better that your marketing will be. Because what we're going to end up doing, and this ties into the next thing we're talking about, which is the spaghetti effect. What you're going to be doing is targeting everything you do to Sarah and Abby and Caitlin and the still as yet unnamed
Nora.
So we are going to target everything to them. So, for example, with me having 2 avatars, I always have to choose. So Facebook posts, I choose which one I'm talking to. And you talk specifically to that person as if you're sending them a message. Like, tighten it up, make it professional. But like, if Janelle is my avatar, then I am assuming that I'm messaging her. And it just happens to be going out in public. If I send an email marketing thing, I am choosing, okay, I am talking to Abby now. In my Facebook ads, so for those of you that haven't done much Facebook ad stuff, like gloss over, but I have saved audiences. I have an Abby audience and a Caitlin audience. And for example, some of you guys have been doing our like a lot of people have been doing our 5 Steps to a Perfect Nail free series over the last week. And that had 2 marketing campaigns, one for Abby and one for Caitlin. So on our Facebook ads, there was some directing to Abby and some directing to Caitlin. I have audiences set for them. I split test. So I had about 75 ads for each of them. And after 24 hours, I checked which ones performed better and deleted the ones that weren't. Now, the exact same ads went to Abby's group and the exact same ads went to Caitlin's group, but not the same ads survived. So Abby preferred certain ads, Caitlin preferred other ads, and because of that, different ones got sent out and other ones got deleted, and then I got better results from them. So everything right down to a Facebook post will go out. I will say that, like, and we'll talk about this more later, but Caitlin is a Facebook user, Abby is an Instagram user, so automatically a lot of my posts get predetermined that Instagram posts are mostly to Abby and Facebook posts are mostly to Caitlin, but we'll talk more about that shortly. So the spaghetti effect. The spaghetti effect is another marketing thing that ties in with avatars. I hate spaghetti.
What?
I really hate
To be
it.
fair, I hate a lot of spaghetti, but sometimes I'm in the mood.
I like spaghetti in a can.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm sick, I want spaghetti on burgers with cheese.
Real
Yes.
spaghetti is gross.
Yes, I completely agree.
All right, so there's
Okay.
a lot of resistance with using avatars, which I feel like will probably come through in the comments at some point. There's a lot of resistance to using avatars because if you only target this person who is 24 and is like a primary teacher and has 3 kids at high school and all these things, what about everyone else? Like, there are only so many of that human for you to find, and they're not all within driving distance. And like, how does that work? What you need to imagine, and I usually do this like on the whiteboard in class if I'm teaching it in person, imagine that you take a thumbtack, like a drawing pin, and you put it in the wall of the biggest wall in your house, the biggest blank wall in your house. You put a drawing pin right in the middle. Now take a bowl of spaghetti and throw it at the wall. If you aim for the drawing pin, which is your avatar, you are going to hit the avatar, but you're also going to hit a lot of the wall around her.
This sounds disgusting, by the way.
It sounds like fun.
I don't want
It
to
sounds
clean
like
this
fun.
up.
Yeah, no.
It's Adam's job.
No, it's not. It's mine.
Okay, get a dog.
We have.
Oh. Well, it's their job. Okay, but does the idea of the spaghetti effect make sense? Like, if you are aiming for example, Abby, you are still, so if Janelle 100% identifies with my Abby, Rochelle slightly does, because by aiming my marketing at exactly Janelle, I reached Rochelle. Rochelle still saw parts that she related to. Rochelle still saw parts that like drew her in, but she's not exactly Abby. But it just means Janelle's obviously my favorite, like because she fits my ideal like student. But does that idea make sense? And if you're watching the live stream, I can see quite a few of you are. Then absolutely comment in and like give us questions. Like make sure. I really want to make sure that this makes sense because it's so important to getting you guys on board with the idea of avatars that you believe in the spaghetti effect. And you know, like when you imagine, if you imagine even throwing the ball of spaghetti at a bullseye, like a darts target, then you're going to hit the middle because like hopefully your aim's not that bad. It's a whole ball of spaghetti.
Yeah,
but like some splashes are going to get off the bullseye, and that's where my 10% come from. Like they weren't meant to get it, but they did, and that's okay.
It's the spaghetti on the floor.
Or it's the spaghetti on the floor, but let's not be derogatory about our students. Like, but yeah, so the spaghetti effect is definitely how this is going to work to not only get that ideal client who you're aiming for, and hope like you're going to get quite a few of her. Like I've said, about 60% of my students are made up of my 2 avatars, but I'm going to get lots of other people who also mostly related, and then a few that didn't, and that's how it will work. But using avatars in this way is going to make sure that the majority of your clients are happy. And it ties in with what I was saying before, where if I'm going to get bad feedback, it's from the 10%. By targeting Abby and Caitlin being the number one clients or students that I want to service, and like if I'm creating a course or creating content, I'm doing it in a way that is like kind of making me happy, but like trying to make other people happy, but it still comes out of my heart and soul. So it's automatically going to be best for Abby and Caitlin, and generally Abby and Caitlin love it. Like, so your clients, if you aim for that perfect avatar, they're going to love you more because your services were designed for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking?
I have a question. So
yes.
If you create an avatar, how long do you give it before you tweak it more or change it?
Like I would, if you're a super remindy calendy person, then I'd go like every 6 months. You would check in with your avatar. But my thing is, I don't actually do that anymore because Abby and Caitlin, although they age like the Simpsons, they evolve like real people. Yeah. So I check in with them because I do things like take them shopping. I'm constantly aware of what they like. And if you will actually find that they evolve over time, because I'll be thinking like, and it helps that I teach this a lot. So I constantly have to reevaluate Abby and Caitlin. If you were doing
this in your spare time, you'd be such a freak.
I mean, I will definitely, if I'm like, it will be normally, I've just been working on a campaign. We've been doing the 5 steps to a perfect nail for the last week and promoting it for the week before that. And I've been planning it for time before that. So in the lead up to a campaign like that, I will be consciously thinking of them all the time. I'm unpacking stock, being like, what color would Abby choose? What color would Caitlin choose? I create our social media content, but I have someone that schedules it. So I don't always know what's about to come up. But so I will check myself. Like if there's a poll that's gone up, I'll be like, what would Abby choose? What would Caitlin choose? So I'm kind of checking in on it all the time, but definitely certain activities like campaign time will make me more aware of it. But I think like if you need the reminder, then like every 6 months. But I think as well, though, you'll start looking at clients and being like, oh, it's Sarah. Like you'll start working it out. So yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah.
So they're a fictional person in your mind, right?
They are.
I thought you were going to be like,
that's what makes
this is your avatar, and they like pop up in your ads, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I've never seen that before.
Oh,
never mind.
Nope, they're a fictional person that's looking at your ad.
Okay,
but then
that makes way more sense then.
Being fictional, it's shocking how many of my students are that person.
Yeah,
and that, like, I mean, you saw Janelle's face. Those of you listening may not have. Rochelle did. She genuinely was like, "Holy shit, these are all of me." Yeah. But
I've evolved now, though. Married.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You've aged and Abby hasn't. But like, I think, I think as well though, they evolve because avatar marketing works so well to attract the right person that over time you start to learn more things about that person that you didn't know. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when I see 2 or 3 people in a class of 8 that are 100% Abby, then as I get to know those real humans, they will influence Abby. Mm-hmm. So she kind of grows and evolves in that way. But so the way that we're going to use your avatars. My next question is, where are your ideal clients? So for me, I'll describe Caitlin and then you guys can have a go. So Caitlin is up at about 6 because she has to get little bits and pieces done before the kids are awake, usually like 20 minutes to half an hour later, but just getting a head start is really important. So at 6 she's awake. She will have checked her phone, but only quickly because she's got to get shit done. She might have the radio on, but probably not straight away. Like, she doesn't want to wake the kids up. So when it's time for the kids to actually wake up, she'll put the radio on. So she's listening to the radio from about 6:30. She's then super freaking busy. She's got kids to get dressed. She's got like breakfast to do and like get all the school bags done and forms signed. At this point, she may very well pick up a school newsletter, which is relevant because they often have advertising in them. But it'll be in a rush though. She's not really, she might catch the eye of your logo and be like, oh, I forgot I need to call them, but she's too busy right now, so it's not a high priority. In the car, they've got the radio going. However, there's kids like freaking out in the car as they do. Everyone's chatting. It's pretty loud. So she drops off the kids, and then throughout her day, she's running errands, so she's spending a bit more time in the car. But she's got a lot of stuff to do. If she is like with people, it's usually in person, but she does activities during the day whenever she can, like Pilates, knock notice boards, like play center stuff. So, like, what can you do with a play center? She does, like, she might belong to a women's only gym. What can you do there? Like, she's doing things during the day. Then she's got school pickup. While she's in the line for school pickup, she is listening to the radio at a very specific time of, like, 3 till 3:30. She is sitting by herself in the car listening to the radio. And during that time, she is scrolling social media. So in that window, she is actually really available and I have her full attention. Once the kids are in the car, she's got shit to do. She's got like activities to get them to after school. She's got homework to do. She's got dinner to sort. She's not focused until after bed at around 7:30. They go to bed and she sits and will scroll Facebook for a good half an hour at minimum while also talking to her friends and like chatting, and like that's her wind down time. During that time, she's also watching TV. So what can you do that involves like TV? It doesn't necessarily mean having your work, like having an ad on TV. Like, we're not going to do that. But say her favorite show, you have nails on someone on that show, and then you post about it, she will put the 2 and 2 together, and she's related to both. So to that level of detail, I know exactly what Caitlin is doing at every minute of the day, and that's where my marketing is going to go. If I'm going to do something on the radio, I'm going to do it at school pickup time. If I'm going to put something on Facebook, it's after bed. If I'm going to do, like, will I put a billboard up? No, she's always got kids in the car. She's not focused on what she's driving past. Will I, like, do a Twitter campaign? No, she doesn't understand Twitter. It's something she downloaded once and then hated, so she deleted it. Like, that's you have to think about where it is, like where she is, and just as importantly, where she is not and when she is in those places. So do you guys have any like inklings of where your avatars are most?
I mean, immediately my mind with Nora would go towards, as you say, Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's because With Nora, she'd be 23, 24, same age as me. I'm on Instagram all the time. I know that feeling. I'm also on Facebook, but very rarely, as you said, with what's her name?
Abby and
Abby,
Caitlin,
myself, and YouTube at the end of the night.
Yes.
And like downtime would her like between being on call and being in the office, she'd have like backwards and forwards on the radio, as you said, sort of early hours between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
And then she'd either be scrolling Instagram when she got to work, getting ready, or doing paperwork, which she could have the radio on.
Yeah.
And then she'd also have like notice boards in the waiting room for clients, magazines, that kind of thing. And then on her way home, or like in between clients, she's got the radio again. And then if she gets there early, she's on Instagram or Facebook. At the end of the night, like after all that stuff, because it's relatively repetitive, she's scrolling YouTube.
Yeah.
And then downtime, mostly sort of socializing with friends, partying. So for me, word of mouth is important too. And
with word of mouth, it's how do you get that word of mouth? So I've taught and would teach separately because it's a lot, like, but the concept of queen bees and targeting people who are like the social butterflies of a group. So to get that word of mouth, you can either target the queen bees so that everyone in that social circle is hearing about you, but also things like I did a fundraiser at a local play center a few weeks ago. That is the same thing as word of mouth getting to Nora, like being in her environment so that people are talking about you in her natural social environment. The other thing that you mentioned, which I want to pick up on, is YouTube. So I've had a few students go, okay, well, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. First of all, don't. To be fair, I have a YouTube channel, so like let's just
I've done
put that out there.
2 videos. It's so time
so here's the thing: if you do a YouTube channel, it is a long game, and B, you're not going to make any money. So you can't make money until like I've got 2,500 subscribers and like a lot of videos and a lot of content, but the rules changed about 6 or 7 months ago, where I was monetized. And now, because all of my previous content is short, the number of hours watched a year is too low for me to make money. So you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers. I have plenty for that purpose at least. And you need something like 22,000 hours of watching or something a year, something like that. And mine is too low because originally content on YouTube, like the trend was towards short stuff. So my videos were all 3 or 4 minutes. Now YouTube is promoting videos that are longer, long form, because it's trying to compete with Netflix where you're sitting down to watch a show. So videos on YouTube that are longer are being like pushed more by YouTube. And so because I've only got all these videos that are short, and YouTube is doing this thing to specifically encourage us to make longer videos, I don't get monetized anymore. So you're not going to make money off it for a really long time. And bear in mind, I've been doing YouTube like 4 years maybe. So like still not making any money. And also though, your platform on YouTube is international. So if you want to be internationally well known, then absolutely scrap everything I just said and start a YouTube channel. But if you're trying to build a clientele, you don't do a YouTube channel. However, Nora is scrolling YouTube. So how do you get on YouTube without having a YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going. I was more meaning like not being a YouTube channel, but more like you could do an ad. And
you could.
There's like, because there's different types of ads on YouTube. Ones you can skip and ones you can't.
Yes.
And like skipping ones, they're a bit longer.
Yeah.
The ones that you don't skip are like 8 seconds, and they can be from like a short clip that leads into a longer clip, or they can be a photo. I've seen photo ads.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, you can be as specific with an avatar as to say, who is she subscribed to? And collab with them. Reach out to the YouTubers, get on the YouTubers' channels that she is watching, and get into it that way instead of trying to build a channel from scratch.
Well, like I know, sort of weird side tangent. Some of my clients follow Jeffree Star, and they've started following his nail tech.
Yes.
Because he, flaunts his nails and they look amazing. Yeah. So now they follow her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then doing sharing photos of nails that you have taken inspiration from her and tagging her into them will start getting their attention. I'll be like, she's so good because she can do what Jeffree Star's nail tech does. So even though you have nothing to do with her, it still puts that relationship in there.
One of the New Zealand text that I follow, she has done that with a pair of set of nails that Cardi B had.
Yeah.
And yeah, she got so many people going, I want those. So yeah, it works.
So another question to tie in with the avatars before we start to close this out is trying to think about what they need. So when you are super specific with an avatar in this way, you can start to be super specific about trying to meet their needs. So like, I can't relate Abby and Caitlin as well with this because they're students, so their student needs are very different. But for a client, like, it could be that they just need some peace and quiet. Yeah. But it could be that they need adult interaction. It could be that they just need a creative outlet. It could be that they just need a safe space to vent. It could be that actually they just need their nails done because they have to look professional at work and they need it done really bloody quickly. Like, I have a client who's the only reason she still comes to me, I'm sure, is because I'm quick and reliably quick. Like, not quick that does a shoddy job. Yeah, like, she gets a plain color every time. It's not difficult, but I can quickly do that plain color well. And that's her main thing, is just that. So Rochelle, what does your ideal client need?
I think for me, my ideal client would be someone that needs the interaction.
Yeah.
So, and someone that is happy to have a chat and kind of let you do whatever. That's like their thing. They get their nails done because it's their little treat. Like, they might have bought a house, they might have a partner, and they've had to, you know.
They'd be one lucky person to buy a house and get their nails done.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, they just need that interaction. But then on the other side of it, it could be that, they just need to get their nails done to look professional for work.
No.
So
you can't have two.
But I can have two avatars, right?
Yeah, you can have two avatars.
Yeah.
But you have to pick a specific, number one need. Like, think of it this way. When you go to, what's your favorite expensive restaurant?
Can you afford it?
No.
Where you go for your birthday?
The Sugar Club.
Okay. I was going to say Sugar Club, and then I decided to ask you. So, all right. When you go...
It's at the Sky Tower. It's amazing. Oh. Side note, worth it.
When you go to the Sugar Club, is it because you're hungry?
No.
Not at all, right?
No.
No. When you go to the Sugar Club, is it because you're on a budget? No. Why do you go to the Sugar Club?
Because it's delicious and it's to celebrate.
And it's fancy.
It's fancy.
So, yeah, I would say, to feel fancy. Yeah, that's why I would go. Yeah. I go to the Sugar Club to feel fancy AF. I want to feel special, and I want to feel like the other half, and I want to feel fancy.
Yeah.
And it might be that the flavor is incredible, but that's usually going to be something like a Mexican restaurant is specifically about the flavor.
Yeah.
Something like the Sugar Club is less so.
Well, it's kind of like if you apply that to nails, it's like, say it's your creative outlet. It might last really well.
Yes.
But your main need is a creative outlet.
Exactly right. And then, you go to the Sugar Club to feel fancy. Do you go to McDonald's drive-through to feel fancy?
No.
Some people do.
I mean, on some budget weeks, that is my fancy. But it's not why you chose the McDonald's drive-through. You weren't like, you know what? I want to feel really special tonight. I want to feel fancy. I'm going to go to the McDonald's drive-through. Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe. But do you go through the McDonald's drive-through because... Convenience. So you are hungry.
Yeah, it's on the way home.
You need food and you need it now. And that nowness is important, right?
Because I'm hungry.
I have lollies. So you need who is she? Because have asked and no one answers. I keep missing her name. Tony, our lovely stalker. I don't know who Tony's asking about on the comments on the live stream, but we have Rochelle and Janelle with us. Is that I don't know.
It might be a case of not being able to hear Rochelle.
Ooh,
oh, maybe.
Damn.
Yeah, you got to start yelling.
I can do that.
But yeah, so you have to remember those super specifics of and those two businesses, which are businesses that sell food. They're not competing at all. You don't ever go to the two for the same thing. And so that's how specific we have to go with thinking about what our clients need, because we want to fulfill that. Like, if Sugar Club was like, oh shit, Okay, well, we can be fancy, but like McDonald's is also cheap. And like if they started trying to be cheap or they started trying to be convenient, everything that was important to us gets lost. Yeah. If McDonald's starts trying to be fancy, their meals start taking longer, they start costing more, and everything that was important to us at McDonald's is lost.
And you can tell because they've done that and people are complaining.
And it fails. And then they change it back. Yeah, they try it and then...
or they're like, limited time.
Tony wanted to know who Jeffree Star's manicurist was.
Oh, YVY Nails, I think?
YVY Nails. So... yeah, that need is extremely important, and it doesn't matter. Like, so I was chatting to someone. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. If you're listening, it was Phyllis. I was chatting to Phyllis this afternoon, who's one of our online students, and she was saying like her goal was to actually work in like night markets, and the whole reason that she became a nail tech was actually to be able to offer good quality nails cheaply. So she lives in an area which is not as well off as some other areas. She knows that people have low income and are therefore going for low quality nails because that's what they can afford. And she wanted to be a good quality nail tech that offered, you know,
convenience.
Like she wanted to be able to do good quality nails for people that can't afford them. And we had to have kind of like a tricky conversation about like, well, how are those cheaper nails that price? Like, how is that happening? And are you actually able to do that and still run a profit or even pay yourself? And like I explained to her that I have some clients. I have a client that drives to me in Auckland from Hamilton every fortnight and literally drives past Phyllis in the process to get her nails done with me because she cannot find anywhere where she lives that has the same standard, and she will happily pay my prices while all the nail techs in her area are saying, oh no, I can't charge that much in this area of Hamilton. And I'm like, yeah, but I've got clients driving from Hamilton to me because their needs aren't being fulfilled. So you can literally zero in on a need that you think is niche, and these people will flock because they're like, finally, you have answered what I was actually after. Like, all of the people that can only afford McDonald's will go, like, they would not start a business and aim to be the sugar club because all they know is budget. And I can relate to that. Like, I've been on a really strict budget the last couple of years, and I'm like, I can't do the sugar club all the time. That's not my world. That is a fancy treat thing for me. And so I can't necessarily relate to this world where you eat out all the time and that sort of thing, but someone does. And so with avatars, you really can zero in on what they actually need and focus on that super, super hard out. And like, so you're saying, what does your avatar need?
That they need the interaction.
Like
personal.
So just personal. Is it like an adult interaction thing?
Adult interaction.
Yeah, because they're at home with kids.
Yeah.
So they need adult interaction, and that means that if I'm fulfilling that need 100%, I'm making sure that like there's no sign of my own kids around when they're in the salon. I'm making sure that I'm relating everything back to like adult stuff. I'm following their lead in conversation. I'm like doing this, you know what I mean?
Asking about their kids and
exactly. Exactly. And it doesn't mean that your pricing is not great. It doesn't mean that your quality is not great. It doesn't mean you're not fancy or you're not convenient or you're not any of these other things. It doesn't mean you don't provide a creative outlet for her. It just means the number one thing she needed in that moment was adult interaction, and that's what you provided for her. So those things kind of all tie in where like we hopefully understand now roughly what an avatar is. Not a Bitmoji, like Rochelle thought. Not a Bitmoji, but actually a fictional characterization of a real human that represents your ideal client and to whom you are going to target all of your marketing. And we understand hopefully that the spaghetti effect means that you are able to target that specific client without alienating everyone else. Everyone else will still trickle in, but you're trying to get that number one client through the spaghetti effect. We know that once you know your avatar and know her well, that you need to work out where she is at all times and what she's doing, and then more as importantly, where she's not, so that you're not wasting your time creating an Instagram account when your avatar is 45. Like she might have an Instagram account, but chances are she doesn't, and neither do many of her friends. So don't waste your energy on doing that unless you are trying to attract someone else. So you need to know where she is and when, and also where she is not. And then lastly, we talked about what these avatars actually need, what their actual point in coming to you is. Yeah. How do you guys feel about this all?
I'm really excited to go home and decide what my avatars
I'm really
are.
excited to go
map
home.
it out.
No. And to like figure out what I'm gonna and start targeting those kinds of things. 'Cause I don't
Yeah.
even know what to put in a Facebook advert. I'm like,
It's-
I'd click on this, but
It's so much easier to write a Facebook post when you're talking to one of your friends.
yeah.
Well,
And
it's so
that's what
funny
they
'cause,
become.
like, throughout this whole thing, I've been thinking of like the one I discussed with you, but also my second one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I do talk to the two differently.
Yes.
Like one is my mate, one is my more professional.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like actually realizing that okay, this person sits in this box, this person sits in this box, and
Yep.
it's like there's
Yeah.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you start to work out, like, for example, I do talk to both Abby and Caitlin on Facebook, but at different times of the day. So Jess, who does my social media scheduling, like, she works off kind of templates that I originally created, but the stuff that is getting done at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night is targeted to Caitlin, and I'm speaking differently to her than Abby, who is more like slightly earlier in the day because she's knocked off work and she's commuting this perhaps, or like something like that. So she's more able to look at social media earlier in the day. So having that knowledge that you are talking to someone differently, it makes it so easy.
Yeah.
So easy when you're like, I don't know what to write in the caption about this post. And then you go, well, how would I describe it to Janelle? And the thing is as well that, like, if you look at the way that I talk to Abby, for example, it's not unprofessional, but it's far more colloquial. Is that the word? Like, it's like, oh my God, look at this. This is amazing. Emoji. This is so fun. And then the way I talk to Caitlin is more like, we can do this. Like, we've got this. Because Caitlin's like, self-esteem it's not low, it's not bad, but like she's nervous. She's far more nervous, whereas Abby's far more self-assured because she's done her like, what the heck am I doing with my life? And she's decided, like, she is motivated and she's like, yes, this is the thing now.
I'm moving from one into the other as you talk.
Whereas like Caitlin's a bit more like, holy crap, there's a lot riding on this. So the way I talk to Caitlin is very much more like, hey, we're going to do this together, and this is so it becomes so easy to go, how am I going to describe this? If you go, well, just describe it to Rochelle. Okay. Like, Rochelle, look at this. It's really fucking cool. Like, done. Right? But like,
Yeah,
you're
pretty
going to
much.
relate to that on social media
Yeah.
because I've spoken to you in your language.
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. All right. So we are going to wrap this podcast up for the evening. If you have watched live on Facebook, thank you so much. Please hit like, maybe tag a friend in the comments. And if you are listening to this on any other avenue, please share it with a friend so that we can start to build our audience for the Salon Success podcast. The Salon Success podcast, can't use my words now, is brought to you by Monaco Nail Academy. So we are a nail tech school in Auckland, New Zealand, but we do also do online training internationally and starting to get more and more people doing that, which is pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
So I have been chatting to you. My name is Penny. My handle is Penny Lawler Nail Artist, where all good handles live. And we have had Janelle with us.
Hi, goodbye.
You want to shout yourself out?
Yeah, on Instagram at Plume Nail Design with PLUME. There's an E. Yeah, and
Same on Facebook?
Same on Facebook, but I'm not really active on there because no one. None of
'Cause
my
you're an Abby.
avatars.
Yeah.
None of my avatars use Facebook. And I also have a website, plumenaildesign.com.
Nice.
Ooh.
And then we've had Rochelle with us.
Yeah. I'm Aphrodite and Iris on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm pretty active on both of them.
Aphrodite.iris? Yeah, cool. Okay. I entered that right into the live stream. So look for at Aphrodite.iris. Rochelle, whereabouts are you based?
I'm out at Whenua.
Okay. And Janelle?
Newland.
Newland. And I'm in Ellerslie. But also, I'm really busy. All right. Thanks so much for listening to us and hanging out with us. us. If you have any questions, jump onto our Facebook page, facebook.com/Monaco Nail Academy, and chuck them in for us, and we'll quite happily answer those in the comments or by PM. We'll see you next week with another salon marketing topic. Bye, guys.
Bye.